This is Grace, the Super Ace. I'm Chad, and this is The Wheel Life. Alright, and first things first, I need to remove these 14mm bolts that hold the seat rails in for the driver's side. And then there's the pan that I showed you in the last video underneath the seat that needs to be removed as well, so let's do that. Alright, seat is out, carpet's pulled back, VIN plate removed. This retaining clip for the parking brake was right in here, and that's removed. Now I need to remove the parking brake. Just a side note, you do not need to remove this parking brake. Just remove the cable itself. Retaining clip, pull the cable out of the parking brake, rubber grommet through the hole, unbolt the cable from the bottom section of this plate, and leave the parking brake installed on the plate itself. Alright. And this plate, and I'll be back with you. Alright, I got all the bolts removed from this panel here. Now I need to remove these bolts underneath here that attach to this parking brake cable, and they're bolted to the underside for some reason. But I'll go ahead and remove those, and then I should be able to get this access panel out of the way. Just a heads up, these bolts underneath that hold the parking brake cable are an absolute nightmare. I mean, it could be worse, but they are very tight. I had to use a breaker bar just because leverage with a little ratcheting wrench was not enough to break those things loose. But now that I broke it loose with the breaker bar, I can get it. And yeah, you have to unbolt two 12mm underneath this panel just to get the parking brake loose. So that's fun. All right, access panel removed, finally. That's where the two 12mm bolts were bolted underneath the access panel. There's the alternator. Factory Toyota, never been replaced. It only has a little over 80,000 miles on it, but clearly, I don't know, long periods of sitting and stuff probably aren't good for it. So anyway, I need to unbolt that, the AC compressor, take the belts off, and take the alternator out. Unfortunately, I was supposed to be getting a AC compressor belt as well. I did not, and so we're gonna have to put the old one back on for now, and then at some point I'm gonna have to do this all again, yay, just to do the AC compressor belt. So that sucks, but that's what happens when you don't look in your packages before you get ready to do the job. You think there's something in there and they missed something. But anyway, I got the primary things that I need, so that's good. All right, let's do it. All right, got the old one out. There's the part number. It is a Toyota alternator. Here's the new one. Let's hope it works. Fingers crossed. All right, got the cables switched over. Something I did notice is the channel on this is wider than on the factory Toyota one. I don't know if that's going to make a big difference or not, but we'll find out. I'm hoping it's not that big of a deal. It's pretty minimal, but it is different. So hopefully the belts I got still work. Alright, I had to end up going to the auto parts store to get some belts. I ended up getting new belts from Smothers, which is a auto parts store near me, and these are all Gates belts. The two that you need for the alternator are 9.3, 9.5. I got the HD, so the heavy duty greenback, and then AC compressor belt for the 1KZ TE is this 9463 HD, again greenback, heavy duty Gates belts, so that should be good. And I'm not going to use these belts, I'm going to return them. They just, yeah, I'd rather use something a little bit more heavy duty and durable, since it is going to be in an area that I don't necessarily want to, you know, have to get back in there and do this again anytime soon. Although, come over here real quick, I was noticing I am gonna have to get back in here at some point pretty soon and replace that. It doesn't look like it's worn through, or rotted through I should say, anywhere yet, but I'm gonna have to get back in here, replace this, and there's a little bit of kind of surface rust in here that I will probably try and clean up while I'm in there as well. But anyway, what we're dealing with currently is AC belt is removed right here. I need to move the AC compressor out of the way, and then the alternator is down here. There it is. Toyota, factory Toyota alternator, so it's never been removed. And this replacement one that I have is supposedly a good part. So let's go ahead and move this AC compressor out of the way, pull the alternator, get the new Gates belts on there, get everything adjusted, get the new Gates AC belt on, and hopefully we'll be good to go to start buttoning everything back up. It's been a journey. Alright, apologies for not recording the whole process. There's a lot of tension on this wiring that's going down into the alternator right here, and getting this bracket back into place was actually proving to be challenging. It is back up into place now with the bolt through it, going through the AC compressor, and I need to tighten up this nut. I got the Gates belts in. I had a video that I watched where someone else was doing the belt job on a 1KZ, and these are the belts that he recommended, so that's what I'm going for. The greenback Fleet Runner belts are supposed to be pretty heavy duty, and that's what I want. So I am going to wrap things up here. I'm losing sunlight. I'm going to tighten some things up here and get it kind of in a place where I can come back tomorrow morning and just bust it out in about an hour or so. Make sure the belts aren't squealing or anything like that, and then after that I will go ahead and put the access panel back on and driver's seat and whatnot, get this lovely parking brake cable reinstalled and whatnot. So back at it tomorrow to do that. See you then. Alright, everything's buttoned up, multimeter's on, battery is reconnected. Let's do a startup. Belts are all in. Before I button this back up, I'm going to start it. We have power. Here we go. squealing. That's nice. I did mark these bolts right here, as well as the bolt up there. Sounds good. Let's check the multimeter. There we go. Just jumped up to 14. We're right where we need to be now, so that's good. Awesome. All right, parking brake reinstalled, cover reinstalled. Sorry I didn't record it. I'm trying to button this thing back up as quickly as possible. Bolting this back up underneath here was interesting. I accidentally actually used the screws that hold the parking brake in to the floor panel. I ended up bolting those in here first, and you can see the bolt actually started to make an indentation because they're too long. So don't be like me. Use the correct bolts. The bolts that go in here holding this parking brake underneath are shorter and smaller lock washers. So there we go, that's in. And there she is, all put back together. And vacuumed. Didn't vacuum this mat, but I need to get new mats anyway. But I did vacuum the carpet. The seats are all freshly vacuumed. Both door cards, passenger side, driver side here. Velour is nice and clean. It's ready to go. And it only took basically a full weekend. Anyway, that's the Toyota Hiace Alternator. Not a fun job, but definitely a necessary one. And I'm glad it's at least done now. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye!